Over the past year, we've realised that some weeks we are not consistent enough at sticking to our promise of trying to get a vlog out to you, documenting the journey of the highs and the lows of building our business. One of our New Year's resolutions is to try and stick to our routine and our promise of getting content to you on a weekly basis. But the reality is that we've found, especially over the last few months, is that some weeks my life and the goings on here are just quite average, and some weeks there isn't anything that we feel is that exciting enough to put together an episode and ask you to spend your valuable time watching it. And so what we are starting to look at doing is for 2025 to try and make a commitment to bring out a vlog fortnightly where we can document only the best bits, the things that we really think are worth your time, and the things that we really want to be able to look back on in years to come for ourselves to be able to review our journey. That being said, one of the things we'd really like to do on a weekly basis is actually take a little bit of time on a Thursday for a very short snippet into my mind, what we're thinking about, the thoughts, the feelings, and just the thoughts of the week. And we've kind of coined the phrase, for now at least, Thursday Thoughts. And we're thinking on a Thursday, we just take a breather, I reflect on my notes from my diary for that week, and just what's on my mind, what's front of mind and what am I thinking about, and share that. And it will be a very short snippet, and hopefully it adds some value and might spark some thoughts to people. It could be lessons that I've learned along the way that week, it could be problems that I'm facing, it could be challenges that we're overcoming, and hopefully there could be some gold in there that might just help somebody who's facing a similar thing right now that could really value from listening to a short snippet of my Thursday thoughts. Let's go. So what's on my mind this week? I think it might have been impacted by my holiday over the Christmas break and some of the books that I read. But I've got this thing around slowing down to speed up that's been constantly playing over in my mind this first week of January. And it really is around the paradox that is actually stopping, breathing and slowing down sometimes can actually make you slingshot forward even faster than you thought. I've never had that mindset. I've never worked to that mentality. I have been that person that is never settling, always pushing aggressively hard. But the reality is, especially last year, I took time to notice that burnout was a real thing for me last year, and it presented itself in different forms to the point where at the back end of the year I really felt quite deflated, quite low, and actually just struggled to have the motivation on those tougher days. And that's not me. And so I took some self-reflection over the break, got myself into some slightly different books. And it's really taught me this idea that I'm currently experimenting with around slowing down to speed up. And for different people, that will mean different things. For some of our order admin teams, I've had conversations this week about slowing down in processing the order to just make sure we get that delivery address spot on, to make sure we get that artwork perfect. Actually, that can, although it feels like it's slowing you down in the short term because you don't get the order on the system as quick, it will speed you up in the longer term because it means that we're not stopping to go back and causing problems further down the line. But for me, what it really means is being able to be more consistent instead of throughout the year having big peaks and huge troughs where one minute I'm firing on all cylinders, working 20 hours a day, mentally or physically, and just pushing all the time, aggressively spinning so many different plates. And then I crash, and then I'm no good to anyone. And what I'm really trying to go for this year is slowing down, taking a breather, but being more consistent and level with my emotions, level with my effort, enthusiasm to the team, and more consistent with how I show up for the team and my partners. And so I'm really working on that. And a big goal for me this year is to really try and go for a year without feeling like I'm laid up in bed for 2 weeks because I've pushed and burnt the candle at both ends. And it's going to be a challenge for me because I know right now I'm feeling like this because I'm refreshed and I've had that sort of new year, new me vibe. But whether I can hold it by the second half of the year will be a tough one because the honest opinion is I'm very attracted to these different things that land on my door and opportunities that present themselves, be it a property deal, a potential new business, an investment, a new exciting client that we could expand to be able to take on. And I've got to try and allow myself to just constantly be reminded we're slowing down to speed up. And that will mean different things, but I really encourage you this week to potentially just take a moment to just think about that and some of the incidents you may have had in your life where actually if you just stop to slow down, where it may have sped you up in the future. I'll give you a very brief example, was with me, with my phone contract for the company phone contract. A few years ago, I was in such a hurry because I was spinning so many different plates one day. I very abruptly entered into what I didn't realise was a 7-year phone contract for our company VoIP telephones. And because I was in a rush and I hadn't slowed down to stop and take a breather, I made a pretty big error there, and it's one that we'll be paying for many more years in front. And that's just a small example. So take a moment with your diary, with your notepad this week, and just stop and think, where maybe should I slow down in order for us to speed up? It's a tough pill for entrepreneurs, for people that are go-getters and really hungry to swallow. But I'm feeling really good mentally after a couple of weeks of adopting that mindset, and I'm excited to hope that I can continue that throughout 2025. See you next week.